So good evening, everyone. Today session is to get through the overview of our Data 650 course. This is the spring semester starting today, and this semester we have two sections of 650. The instructor for one section is Professor Ozan with us today, myself, Elena Gorcheva, and our wonderful TA, Yelena Batinskaya. So first, myself, I've been with UMUC more than 20 years, running several programs. In the last 10 years, running the Master of Science in Data Analytics program. And later on, we have newest bachelor degree in data science. And I'm very happy to apply my knowledge and experience to build curricula, to run the curricula, and prepare professional for the today very challenging world, and specifically in data science and AI. And with us today is the Professor Ozan. Professor Ozan, can you say a few words about yourself, please?
Sure, Professor Gorcheva. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining this session. This is Ozan. I have been with the UMGC since 2016, and I have been teaching courses around four or 5 years right now. And I'm very happy that I'm sharing this term with Professor Gorcheva and Yelena because they are both amazing. And Yelena's support is amazing that you're going to have her support throughout the semester. I'm also working in the IT industry. I'm working as a agile project management coach. I'm teaching in the IT industry as well. So I'm glad to be with you this semester. Thank you, Professor.
And we have Yelena Batinskaya. Yelena, can you say a few words about yourself?
Yes, I've been a TA at UMGC for 15 years, started with database program and transferred to data analytics. So most of you have met me in your earlier coursework, right? So I would like to wish you guys good luck. We're going to work again together. Look forward to a nice semester. Yelena, back to you.
Yes, and whoever doesn't know Yelena, let me tell you that this is a wonderful experience you will have because she has been a student and she is more directly in your shoes than the professor as much as we want. So her help is so very much appreciated in our program. And of course, specifically in this course, which is packed with technology and need a lot of dedication to learn and get certain level of understanding and fluency in this technology. So with no more, I'm proceeding to the today packed agenda. We will try to get a, well, usually I say quick introduction to big data kit, but we are in very, 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 very challenging moment. The thing, this technology has been evolving. So maybe I will take a little bit more time than usual. And then we will go specifically to the course, expectations, schedule, how we are going to deal with, to get help with the software, and regarding some week one activity. Of course, the most one very important part of this meeting is that you will be giving the stage to ask question, directly live question, and get them answered. And we aim to do this in 1 hour. Let's see. So I'm not going to spend too much time on something which is already well known. At the moment you are already in this stage in the program, you have heard more than I don't know how many a year, not only the year in the program about big data. We are really as a term, we are in the post-big data era, not because big data is not important, but because we have evolved to the moment which big data is implicit in the today AI world. So we are going to try to understand better in what technology as a data scientist at minimal we will have to understand in order to be successful in our career. So, and of course, we understand that the main challenges with the big data is how to deal with new architecture, new tool, new approaches in order to be successful. Of course, complexity, volume are problems which over the last 10 years already technologically, we have solution. We have technological solution to deal with the volume of the data, also with the complexity with very different type of data and architecture. So the main issue today are propelled like historically in this slide, how we arrived to today is the match of two tendencies. One is the necessity and the other is what the technology permits. The same way historically represented in this slide, things evolved that traditional database were not capable to manage the data with volume from YouTube, Twitter, when we talk about text, images, and not about the volume, but about the complexity and the specificality of the data. Because it's not only to store and access the data, but it's also how you're going to process this data. So all this necessity of the different application in different side of our life, and by one hand, and by the other hand, getting cheaper computational technology permitted that we had arrived to technology like Hadoop, Spark, high performance computer, which computationally were able already to deal with the volume of this data. What I most want to stress here is that I still see, unfortunately, students in 650, we still think that the issue with this data is the volume of the data, and it's just big volume of data. This is very, let's say, limited and something which probably historically 20 years ago was true. Here we are talking about big data regarding the complexity to deal with data. And today, when we talk about big data, we are talking about textual, images, and video data. That is what big data we are talking about today. Okay, so that's why this pyramid has very wide base, which are all these unstructured data comprised by text and images, and then all these semi-structured, quasi-structured, and structured data, which traditionally for 30 years we have been storing and accessing in databases like Oracle, are just very small portion of all the data we are dealing today. And as a data scientist, data analyst, you will have to get something useful for the company you are working. Usually most of the data are textual, images, and visual talking today. And of course, as such, we mostly will be focusing on that. I'm not ignoring the other type of data which historically have existed, but just think about that all these traditional structured data, which we understand as Excel table, this is already very small portion of what you are going to deal with when you go to company. Not that they are zero, but they are very, and there are no challenge. So what we are going to learn is how to deal with the main challenging problem and what are the best solution at the moment. And I want to stress very, very much to the word at the moment. Why? Because any solution has to do with the technology available at the moment. Tomorrow, we may have another solution, and this already happened to be not anymore so challenging. Do you understand me? So we have to understand all these big data subject in the context of, in the broader context, and in the context of technology, and in the context of today. Very important. So I have several slides here, which I'm going to go rather quickly, because when you are hired for a job, let's say their existing architecture in any enterprise in which you will have to deal not with big data, but with traditional structured or quasi-structured data. So it's very important when you deal with data as a data analyst and data scientist, you understand what type of data you are dealing with, what type of problem you have to solve, and what are the most appropriate tools and methods to get what you need from this data. For instance, if you have completely structured data, of course, having them in table in structured format, we are accustomed traditionally, is nothing wrong. That is the way to deal with this. You don't have to use more advanced, let's say, advanced approaches for textual data to deal with this structured data. Just make sure the most important as a data scientist analyst, I want to stress, is you understand what type of data you are dealing with, what do you need to solve the problem you are working in your company as a data analyst and data scientist, and knowing that, you decide what are the best approaches and software and tool and technology to deal in order to solve this problem. So because of this, you will find this course a bit different than the other courses in the program, because the topic is very close related with the technology. In order to deal, you need a new way to store, a new way to access this data, a new way to process this data. Why I'm stressing on that? Because if we go to the big chunk of big data, which is textual data, this slide represents all this complexity, which over the year, we have reached very good level in the past year, 2023, with the generative model, LLM, in order to deal with textual data with natural language understanding and generating. And I want to stress here as a data analyst, data scientist, that you need to understand what is behind, just reflect on the complexity of our language. I have just several bullet points here, which can tell us how complex is our language. And in order as a human, that even as a human, if we don't put in context what we are saying, we may understand unintended meaning. So the meaning of what we are saying is very related with context. And you understand, for a computer, for a machine, to give interpretation of this complexity is quite a big problem, which we can applaud that very successfully. We have reached the level we have in 2023 in this realm. So this is just a contrast between the structured data and the unstructured representation of this data, which is a sentence. For the sentence I have in the bottom of the slide, which is, if a leadership is an art, then surely Jack Welch has proved himself a master painter during his tenure at General Electric. So you understand, to put this unstructured data in a traditional table is quite a bit of job, and is quite a bit of understanding of the context of what we are talking about, and quite a bit limited representation of this sentence. So as a data analyst, data scientist today, you should have understanding about all this complexity, and when you use a tool which is helping you to get through understanding of natural language, which will help you solve problem in your company, you at least realize that behind the scene, there is complex algorithm. Many of you already have been exposed in the program, but it's not simple, the machine learning part. All this natural language understanding has several components, and its integration between data science, computer science, and linguistics is not simple data science or computer science, is also linguistics. So we have to understand that solution of problem complex like this imply integration of knowledge of different disciplines. And as I started, we are in this challenging time where big data is already in the background. It's not that there is no big data anymore. The thing is, the big data has become the today word. Today we're talking about AI. Without big data, we don't have machine learning, we don't have AI. So the big data is implicit. That's why this representation try to give, let's say, a reflection to what I'm talking about, that when we talk about the today AI, machine learning, big data is part of it. Big data permit the machine learning model to be trained in with more data, as we say, and to get more reliable result. And as such, we have better AI solution. And in addition, in this slide, I intend not only to point you to the strong relationship between all these terms, because today is a lot of confusion about what is the difference between machine learning and AI, what is the difference between AI and big data, how big data play a role on all of this. So you have to think about that we are talking about different, let's say, component, but all they play together. You cannot have machine learning without a real powerful data, rich data. You cannot have today AI without the big data. So think about this way. And I have the title as contemporary AI because AI by itself has evolved over the last 50, 60 years, from classical definition to too much research, university research, lab research in big company like IBM, and then has evolved to a practical solution today, which is based basically on big data and machine learning. The contemporary AI is not something autonomous. By definition, AI mimics human intellectual capability in general. sometimes they are expanded to physical, and we comprise also robot, and we can say AI can do stuff like human, right? That is the very general definition. The today AI we're talking about, which is propelled by big data and machine learning, is aimed to enhance human capability. We still do not think about autonomous AI, which can make decision itself without human participation or observation or whatever, name it. So we are today in this stage and going accelerated toward at some point to get to this autonomy, to get to this classical view of AI, in which AI will be able to generate decision like human itself, but we are still not there. And the good thing is that we are still not there, and we still have to rethink how we develop all new application, all new AI-based product in such a way, in such a responsible way, so we do not get to dangerous solution. And I think everybody understand what I mean. The most important thing I want that you understand here is not to talk about AI, is that you understand that we are talking about, which is directly related with what we are going to do in our course. You have been doing machine learning for several courses in your program. You have been doing application of deep learning for images recognition, speech recognition, text recognition. You have been exposed to all these things, even not very extensively, but as much as possible in a course of 12 weeks and several of them. So you should understand already in this course that we are going to talk about big data, but don't forget all this relationship. And since we are going to talk about this, I want to make sure that you understand the relationship between all these components, that the artificial intelligence is the overarching, let's say, mimicking human capability, and the heart of the machine learning, the artificial intelligence today is machine learning, and deep learning is just a subtopic of machine learning, the way you have learned this in our program. Of course, data science is overarching on the other side, because data science has something which is not artificial intelligence and machine learning, but it's analytical data exploration, data visualization, and all these business analytic part of data analytic, which are not artificial intelligence, not in the, let's say, in the topic of artificial intelligence. So let's say roughly, you have to think in this box visually representing, so you have more clarity what we are talking about. So, of course, I cannot avoid not to talk about generative AI, at least for 3 minutes today. Why? Because this is what happened in the last year, and how is it related? The thing is that everything in deep learning evolved so much in what is image classification, image recognition, text recognition, in such a way, on one hand, and on the other hand, computational power gets cheaper. So with increased high performance computing and computational power, and the advancement on the other hand of deep learning, it convert to what is the new paradigm of generative AI. Generative AI, so up to the beginning of past year, we were talking about machine learning, predictive modeling, right? And based on that, enterprise take decision and start targeting customer or change the production line on those this reorganizational stuff in manufacturing and so on and on and on, based on machine learning, predictive modeling, right? And after that, we start talking about generative AI. It's not that we are substituting predictive modeling with generative. These are just two parallel stuff. Today, enterprise have the predictive modeling, and instead to write, let's say, to send some information to marketing, to target customer, we have the generative power to generate text and images, and then we can generate emails, we can generate letter, we can generate opinion for the court, we can generate, let's say, summary for the insurance claim. So all this generative AI is based in the advancement of the technology and the advancement deep learning get to the LL large language model to be able to generate text and images in different fashion in such a way that I have the next level, because we're going to try, of course, to discuss, not to do something practically, how the generative AI will impact your profession as a data scientist. You already have heard the code is generated and you will say, oh, why I spent more than a year to learn Python? I can get Python generated. Well, but if you don't understand how to write Python code, even if you get the Python generated, you won't be able to solve a problem as a data scientist. So let's put it this way. The generative AI will power the productivity of the data scientist. You have to understand that, and we will be talking along the course about this. Enormous bust, enormously will increase the productivity of the data scientist, because many tasks can be automated by generative AI. And then as a human, you will be concentrated in the most critical tasks, which need your intellectual capability to understand the model and which way to go, how to enhance this model. Just, let's say, you maybe even can get ML. I'm representing here one of the schema, because most of the company are going this way, which can already provide you with a well-designed prompt, a model, deploying a machine learning model, and so on and on, even clean your data, everything automatically. But if you don't understand what is behind the scene of all these stages of the data science, you won't be able to get advantage of these generative AI tools. Just, I'm giving this as an example and just as a food for further discussion in the class. Now back to the course. As a big data course, we are going to work with the contemporary approaches of the technology. You will see a lot of technology, a lot of what is named data engineering tasks, because as a data scientist, you will have to have as minimal data engineering tasks, data engineering skills, and this is going to be the portion in this course you will be learning. Of course, I would say, well, would stress at minimal data engineering course, which you as a data scientist must have. And we are going to go to the contemporary big data architecture, in which instead to ask IT to deploy architecture for you, like is in the left hand of this slide, you are going to go to the cloud in the company you are going to work, and in the cloud already all the tools are deployed, and as a data analyst scientist, you will define which of them you will be using for this specific project you are dealing with. Okay, and this is totally new approach, and of course all this is possible only in the cloud. Most of the things we are going to do in the cloud in this course, even though you have R or Python installed in your computer, we are going to study the approach to deal with big data. And it's not about the size of the data set you will be working, because think about that we are talking about educational project here. It's not about the size of the data set you're going to work. Of course, reasonable size is needed. It's about the approach to deal and to use the approaches to deal with big data, and that is the aim of this course. So, like in all other courses, this is competence-based course. What we are going to have is 4 big projects to apply what we study. Mostly every 3 weeks, you will have big assignment. And some small assignment to prepare you for the technology of this big project, you will have to do on before or auto-graded quizzes with unlimited number of attempts to prepare you with the technology and the subject to proceed to the big project. Big project, I mean, assignment which is almost 20-25% of the course grade. And that is the structure of the course. The best thing you have to get advantage on the course is to learn software in the cloud. I'm not talking about R or Python. I'm talking about services in the cloud, including which, in addition to the services in the cloud, you will be using R and Python, but running it in the cloud the way, let's say, the today modern architecture for big data work in any enterprise. So this is going to be the training. It's a bit challenging, so I try to prepare yourself. You have to dedicate the time to learn and get to the level to be able to use a lot of new technology. With proud, I want to mention this slide. You will have it attached to the presentation today. And I'm very proud running this program, how successful our students were to represent themselves in different competition and recognition, which the program also got from different organizations. This is just to prompt you that you should be proud to be in this program. And probably some competition will arise shortly, and whoever wants to volunteer is gonna be wonderful to participate. This is extra, let's say, voluntary work outside of the curriculum. So in short, this is the tentative schedule for the semester. You have it in the syllabus. I just want to have the extract here of the topic in the last column, which is telling you that, like, we have a live session today. We will have during the semester several live sessions to help you with the new technology, for instance, in week 3 with Spark. Then we will have a question and answer session about the machine learning in Spark for the assignment 2. We will have walkthrough on sentimental analysis to run in memory analytic in week 7, and we will have another live walkthrough week 11 for the chatbot AI application we will be doing in the last 3 weeks of the semester. So actually, the AI part of the course is everything starting from week 7. From week 1 to 6, including, this is what is big data technology. This is what I name it data engineering part. So the first week is the data engineering part. You will be learning the technology, which is Spark is one of the most contemporary technology to store and access big data based on high performance cluster computing. And after the data engineering part, week 1 to 6, we will have the AI application week 7 to the 8, and to the work, the semester, which is sentiment analysis and AI application chatbot. I would like to stress that the assignment in week 6, 7, 8, and 9, I very would like that you reflect for what you are doing and what you probably can do with the generative AI. That is an open question, but we will be talking about this when the time arrives for week 7. Now, I would like to give, so these are the 4 major assignments I mentioned, and the technology we will be using. And I would like to give the stage to Professor Ozan to talk about grading, some policy, and some other stuff in the course. Ozan?
Sure, Professor. Thank you again. So, folks, I believe like a grading is the least important part of the class because, as Professor Gorcheva discussed, you will be learning very important tools and techniques in this course. So, and every week, different tools, every week, different softwares. And as a result, you will learn really, really very important, very useful tools, techniques, and software in this class. But eventually, you will be showing what you have learned to us, right? So, and we have 4 major assignments. We have discussion boards. We have quizzes that's going to determine your grade during this term. And the grading is definitely based on your course assignments, right? And in these assignments, 4 assignments, we will have a lot of guidelines for you. Yelena will have a lot of help sessions for you. So you will get a lot of support from us. And eventually you will submit and you will follow the guideline and you will submit your assignments. But to get really the high grade in this course, we need you to submit everything on time, first of all, and spend good amount of time, start in advance, not just leave your assignment last 2-3 days or last week even. Start good amount of time and put your best effort on these assignments. If you just follow the guidelines and if you submit with the minimum requirements, you will be getting like around 90, 91, 92. But if you really want to go at around the 95 points or almost 100 points, we need you to submit with your best effort, with all those details, with the critical analysis. So not just what you submit, we also need you to discuss with us your results in detail and with the critical thinking. And the discussion boards like almost 12%, so don't miss any of them. And for the quizzes, you have you have chance to make multiple attempts. So get your best grades from the quizzes as well. We have also some ungraded assignments. Those ungraded assignments will help you to get the best grades in your major assignments. So if you complete those ungraded assignments, you will be getting definitely you will be doing really very good job in your assignments. So, and you have endless supports anyways from your instructors, also from your TA, Yelena.
Okay. So, who talk about this, you, Ozan, or Yelena?
Yelena can continue, Professor.
Okay, Yelena.
This is just, you have some chapters from Areli book library, and when you click on the link, right, it will ask you to select your institution. If the institution is not listed, there is an option to say not to choose not listed, and then you're gonna specify your email. All right, you're gonna enter an email, but very important, it's not gonna be your Gmail, it's not gonna be your Hotmail. It will be your email that ends with student.umgc.edu. That way, it's gonna know that you're a student, and you're gonna have a free access to the book. All right. So there are several. The first few weeks, there are some chapters from those books from this in this collection. All right, but now you know how to access it, right? That's mainly the purpose of the slide. All right. Next one, yeah. Help with technology software. So very important. Do not call UMGC help desk because they're not gonna help you. They don't know what your assignment is, right? What you need to do is there is a form in the classroom. The page is called Help with Technology and Software. There is a link that takes you to the form that you need to fill out. So make sure that you put your correct name, you put your email that's in the system. You want to select there is a drop down, right? And you want to select the last option. So it's a VDA type of case. It's not an IT, because if you select the wrong case type, your case is going to go to a different queue that I cannot see, right? See that one, that picture shows you need to select UMGC Virtual Lab Support, case type, right? And make sure that you specify the correct course, because otherwise it's going to go to the TA who supports that course. Then you want to describe your issue as much as possible. I should be able to reproduce it. You want to include the screenshots of the errors, if there are errors. For your reference, you need to save the case number. So what's going to happen is, right after you complete the case, you're going to get right after you fill out the form, you should be getting the confirmation email, and that email will have the case number. So if for some unknown reason you made a mistake when you completed the form, if your case went to the wrong queue, that case number is what I can use to find your case, right? But usually, I'll try to do my best to answer as soon as possible, right? Well, if the issue involves some research, if the solution is unknown, then at least I'm going to tell you that we are looking into this. I'll be researching this, because sometimes things change, right? The interface, things change as we speak. So you know what I'm talking about, right? All right. So are we ready for the next one? Yes. So this is just the software tools that you're going to be using, and Professor Bercho already talked about that, most of it. You're going to be using IBM Cloud, very important. For the first assignment, it's theoretical. Do not install anything for this first assignment. Do not attempt to use IBM Cloud for the first assignment. Well, you need to set up the account, but we actually start using account from the Spark tutorial assignment. But the first assignment is theoretical. You don't need to install anything. Then during the semester, you're going to be using DB2, white columnar database. You'll be using Spark, right? You're going to be using languages are Python, R, and SQL, right? Okay, next one. Well, this is just a screenshot of the IBM Cloud platform, right? And that's just the Cloud Pak, which is a sub-platform. And you're gonna get more details on this when you get to the Spark tutorial assignment, right? So IBM Cloud Pak, it's just like a sub-platform of the IBM Cloud, and you're gonna be given instructions on how to access. I just put a screenshot just to show you. Okay, and it's also known as Watson Studio. Well, do you remember this guy here, Ken, right? So he was a long-term Jeopardy winner. And then they put him against the AI, remember? So the computer, I believe the computer beat him. Yeah. But it just showing you, remember that picture? It just showing you the three key focus area, which is language understanding, evidence-based learning, and the hypothesis generation. But I'm not sure most of you have seen this game, Jeopardy, right? All right, next one.
And we are going to use more contemporary services which were
Yes.
generated after this, let's
This
say,
is-
monstrous computer was
Yeah.
built. Everything evolved and most advanced and contemporary application, which were based on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, it might sound funny and like a broken record, but all right. Most of the assignments cannot be done in one sitting, so please do not wait until the last day, right? Please do not submit the IBM tickets unless you're told to. You need to use the Salesforce to submit the ticket. By all means, please do not enter the credit card information because it cannot be undone. You will be responsible not only for incurred charges, but the services are different, all right? The functionalities can be different. And I might not be able to answer questions because how? I don't have a paid account, I have academic, right? Do not deactivate your IBM Cloud account, you cannot undo it. Then do not let your account to expire because an access cannot be reinstated. But do not worry about this at the moment. I believe now they give you access for a full year, right? But if you're still a student, well, if you still have access to your student email, you will be able to obtain another code in a year to get more access, right? But once account is expired, that's it. There is no way to unexpire, if you will, right? All right, next one. All right, so I like to live by something, I call it 24 hours rule. So I aim to finish when I was a student, I aimed to finish the assignment 24 hours before they were actually due. Because when you have a last minute crisis, as like the code stops working, then suddenly you get the storm, the power is out, internet outage. Why do you want to deal with this stress? You want to get it done, right? Make sure that it's done 24 hours before it's due, and it's gonna help you a lot, trust me. You want to do all ungraded exercises. Well, all of that was talked about, right? Now, where to post your questions? There are different types of questions. Some questions go to your instructor, some questions go to Salesforce, and some questions are confidential, go straight to email, right? Questions about your grade, and if there are any accommodations or assignment extension due to unforeseen circumstances, right? But in the classroom, you post general questions like a due date, non-software related questions, syllabus questions, and there is a special discussion for the broken links where you report broken links, right? But Salesforce, things like IBM account issue with applying feature code, assistance when you need assistance with launching the software, like a DB2, for example, things like SQL or Python are code errors when you need assistance with ungraded exercises, well, and etc., right? Then if you see major discrepancies between instructions and interface, well, if the button shape is changed, it's not a major discrepancy, right? If the menu looks, the appearance is different, it's not a major discrepancy, right? Just so you know. And then if you have a question about the data you're asked to use, and any other like technical issues related to the course. That goes to where? Salesforce, all right? Do not ask IBM to help you with the code. They don't know what assignment is. Okay? Next one.
And
That's it.
we have arrived to the best part of question and answer from you. You can get them. Of course, this was quite accelerated presentation, but I think it's very important you ask your question in the remaining time we have. You can post them in the chat and we will be reading them. Any question? You can unmute also yourself, yes, because I don't see so many people, so Zoom is gonna hold it. Or you can write the question in the chat. I see already. Guys, don't get shy, ask whatever comes. It's understandable that sometimes you need to think, you are not sure. There is a question about Julia. Well, Julia is also there, but since Python dominate, we still, I mean, in a single class, we do not have the capability to do a project with all available technology. There are so many that even if I try to prepare a single slide, in order to fit them in a single slide, it's going to be very cumbersome. So, of course, Julie is important, but we don't teach anything related, not, and also is, also there is another, not only that it's not possible to teach everything in a single class in all related technology, but also because knowing R and Python, you are well prepared to switch to another language, and specifically to something which is Julia, which is not totally different paradigm shift, okay? So, and let me put it this way, not only Julia, when you finish the program and you get a job, probably in 2 years, you will have to use new stuff. You will have to learn new stuff. And that is partially what we are preparing you when the instructor is giving you feedback and is requiring that you give your recommendation, your reaction, or what you have done, not just the mechanical part, the experiment, but the analysis. And all this analysis is required in the whole program because we actually are preparing you for the future. As a data scientist, data analyst, you have signed it for a, you will have to learn until you work all the time something new. And we think that is what is going to happen. Not only Julia, you will have to learn whatever best would play to solve the problem you are solving. Because there is not such a thing that the best technology. Of course, if you know better Python, perhaps it's going to be more productive to solve the problem with Python instead to start learning new language like Julia. So there is no win-win. Either solution may work in your future career and we feel you will be very well prepared to pick up any new stuff coming up. Did I answer your question, Augustine? Good. What specifically you want regarding the assignment? A little more. I can pull the slide because Roxanne, right, is asking regarding the assignment. Let me share the slide again and go the assignment and see what exactly, how we can provide more information. Here are the 4 major assignments. So the first assignment is more conceptual assignment. You will be learning NoSQL databases, and HBase is a columnar, and we pick up one of the representatives because there are many NoSQL databases. NoSQL databases are the best, let's say, were developed to solve problems with big data. So we practically give overview about all the technology, but we pick up one of them to do the practical assignment, which is HBase, and you will be designing a HBase, but you will be not implementing this in the cloud. You will be doing this with pseudocode, okay? And all the concept of columnar database should be present in this database to solve specific problem which is which is described in the problem. In the second assignment, we are talking about second major assignment, which have quizzes and some tutorials before arising to this, because you will have to learn a new tool, which is Spark, which is one of the accepted, which is, let's say, the post Hadoop. Hadoop was the first tool to deal with managing big data, and then the thing advanced more. Spark is more powerful than Hadoop, and we are going to work with Spark for managing big data, and you will be ending up doing SQL and machine learning on Spark in the cloud using this high performance clustering computer in the IBM cloud. This is the second big project. Then in the assignment 3, you will be using several things which are related with AI and of course big data, because what we are going to do is textual Twitter data. You will be analyzing Twitter data to get insight from the Twitter data, and the specific insight we want to understand is the sentiment in the Twitter. Then you will be using technology of this, because you will need to, in order to deal with Twitter data, we will be using in-memory analytics tool, which is DB2, and you will be running the analytical part with RStudio, but again, RStudio not in your computer, but in the IBM cloud. So this is portion of this AI application, which is get sentiment from textual information like Twitter data. In assignment 4, you will be building, let's say, AI application, let's say intelligent chatbot, fitting it with data, and behind the scene, you will have the engine of Watson, which already is pre-built. So that's our the 4 big assignment. And of course, Watson and the services of the Watson, all this is in the cloud. So all assignment 2, 3, and 4, you will have to work in the IBM Cloud. Can you ask more questions? Yes. Let's see. Okay, good. Any other question? Any other question? Also, Elena, do you have something which you think is important and we didn't mention?
Well, for the IBM Cloud account, I would recommend people to try as early as possible because sometimes we need to have a screen share. Things happen. Okay.
And Professor, maybe I can emphasize a little bit the importance of the announcements because we are posting very detailed announcements that are very helpful to all students. I definitely recommend students to follow, read the announcements every day with reading in detail. So because they will learn a lot just because of the announcements as well. Thank you.
Well, I don't see more questions. If there is a way to consume the reading as video and or audio, well, we have some of the resources are video, but the book, as far as I know, the reading from the book, we still probably this will be available soon, not yet. I don't know the way to have all the reading in video and audio, not yet. But AI is there. The generative AI is just there because right now I can go to generative AI and based on a text, I can generate an image, but still not enough technology, or at least we still don't have access. So today, generative AI from text can generate image. But to generate audio with video is the next step. We don't have it yet. Anybody else? I can tell you to use AI, don't limit yourself because in your workplace, you will use it. Do you understand me? So use it, nothing wrong with this. Just make sure you understand that the technology today has certain limitation. And mostly the limitation is how much and how good were the data for training this LLM, okay? And if there is a specific training in the area you are asking question, how good you are prompting the AI, because it's very important how you articulate the question to get a good answer is very important. Very, very, very important. So You have to keep all this in mind because sometimes I'm talking to somebody say, no, but the AI gave me wrong answer. Well, it depends how you ask. It depends of the question, what is interpreted by this question and where is looked and what available data AI has. So of course you cannot expect 100% certainty. And this is the way today AI, it works hand by with human. It's not this general AI, autonomous AI. Okay, so you have to use your intellectual capability to assess the answer of AI, how good it is. But for just, let's say, convert text to video in audio, I don't think it's more question about technology than other thing, than machine learning training. Do you understand me? So probably soon the technology will reach the point when we will be able to have all this converted text to video and audio. To audio actually is possible today. I don't have the software. I know we have students with disability, which are for blind people. There is software which convert the text to audio. I just don't know if this somebody can do the research and even let me know what guys you find. I know that some disabled people, blind people, they use software which convert text to audio. I don't have this software. About converting text to video, I don't know. If somebody can research this, would be great. Any other question? If there are not more questions, I will stop the recording and we will continue the conversation in the classroom during the whole following weeks until we have another meeting, right?